Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to the class. Good afternoon Aarti, good afternoon Virpal. Audio is clear, right? Okay. So we have already completed, as you all know, 2021 questions, right? And you must have seen that PDF as well. I have shared PDF with you on this Telegram group t.me/net ria digimento, right? So all the students, those who are new, welcome to the class. And my name is Ria. I have cleared both NET, JRF and GATE exams. So if you have any query related to any exam, feel free to contact. You can always contact me via Telegram. Good afternoon, Ishani. Right, so this is the Telegram group link t.me/net ria digimento. So all the PDFs and all the information about classes will be provided over here only. Okay, and now we have started with UGC NET 2019 questions because 2019 paper was a bit, you can say, see, in 2018 UGC NET was conducted by NTA. Yeah, NTA started conducting. NTA was formed and NTA started conducting UGC NET exam. Earlier, CBSE was holding all the exams responsibilities, right? So 2018 was the first year for NTA, so it was almost similar to your CBSE pattern only. But the pattern changed. The questions pattern changed from 2019. So it's very important to understand how the questions have evolved from 2018 to 2019 and what new questions they can give us and what all questions we can expect. Okay, so 2021 questions we have already done. Okay, 2020 questions we have done, but not in one playlist. 2020 questions you can find in the PYQ series. ठीक है, there is one series known as PYQ, previous year question series. वहाँ पे I have discussed major 2020 questions. So 2020 questions in one way I have completed over there. So right now my major focus is to focus on 2019 paper. Okay, and see, in every paper, whether it is 2019, 2020, 2021, there will be around 3 to 4 questions or max to max 5 questions that will be some out of syllabus question. Out of syllabus matlab ki that will be a part of your unit, but they have not mentioned it, and we as a student in BTech, we must have heard it somewhere, but we do not, we do not put more focus to it. So you can expect these 5 questions of that type, at least 5 questions of that type. So do not run for those 5 questions. Okay, 95 questions or 95 questions in paper 2 are still there that you have to crack. So agar 5 रह भी गए, so there's no problem for that. But we have to focus कि 95 questions जो हैं वो हमारे गलत ना हो. ओके, सो 95 जब अटेम्प्ट करके आओगे सही से, देन समवेयर 70-75 क्वेश्चंस आपके सही होंगे एटलीस्ट. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड कि कुछ क्वेश्चंस ऐसे आते हैं, देयर विल बी सर्टेन क्वेश्चंस दैट विल बी योर, यू मस्ट नॉट हैव हर्ड अबाउट दोज टॉपिक्स. सो यू डोंट हैव टू पुट स्ट्रेस ओवर इट, यू डोंट हैव टू पुट मोर फोकस ओवर इट. कोई बात नहीं, नहीं आ रहा, but you, the questions that everybody else knows, the question that is most expected, वो questions हमसे जरूर होने चाहिए. वो question आपको छोड़ के नहीं आने. Good afternoon Alphonse, good afternoon Sunita. Okay, so I hope this is clear to everyone, and many students are asking कि पेपर कब होगा, पेपर कब होगा. कभी भी हो पेपर, ठीक है, जून मोस्ट प्रोबेबली आपका पेपर हो जाना था, बट लेट्स सी नाउ दे हैव नॉट सेंड एनी डिटेल्स और एनीथिंग. बट what is our goal? Our goal is to basically focus on the paper कि हमें पेपर के क्वेश्चंस आने चाहिए, राइट. पेपर आपका कभी भी हो, जून के 4th वीक में हो, जुलाई के 1st वीक में, दैट शुड नॉट अफेक्ट योर प्रिपरेशन. सो प्रिपेयर कि आपका ये एक मान के चलो कि आपका एग्जाम जून में ही है, 3rd-4th वीक में है, उस हिसाब से अपनी प्रिपरेशन करो. ठीक है, ये बात का स्ट्रेस, डू नॉट टेक स्ट्रेस ऑफ दिस थिंग कि व्हेन वी हैव द पेपर, कब होगा पेपर, पेपर क्यों नहीं आ रहा है, एडमिट कार्ड क्यों नहीं आ रहे. डू नॉट टेक स्ट्रेस फॉर दैट, जस्ट प्रिपेयर ऑन योर, जस्ट फोकस ऑन योर प्रिपरेशन ओनली. ओके, So all those who are planning for any other एग्जाम, ठीक है, लाइक योर केवीएस की नोटिफिकेशंस भी आने वाली हैं. वीडियो आई होप यू ऑल मस्ट हैव सीन, ठीक है. केवीएस के लिए पीजीडी जीटी, इफ यू प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर एनी ऑफ दीज एग्जाम्स देयर आर कोर्सेज ऑन वेबसाइट, ठीक है, जस्ट विजिट दैट वेबसाइट. और इफ यू प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर दिसंबर एग्जाम for your net, there are 3 months course, 6 months course, 12 months course. So use this code welcome40, and with this code you can get 40% off and you will be able to access all these courses, okay. So what you have to do is you have to visit this website digimento.com. You can also download this app, okay. This is an Android app, so you can download this Android app, Digimento Education, and here also you can access all the courses that are present over here. ठीक है. So I have made this playlist for 2019 questions also, ठीक है. 2019 की भी playlist है. You can find the playlist on the same channel. उसी playlist में I'll be adding all the questions, ठीक है. ये 2021 की playlist है आपकी, and this will be your 2019 playlist, okay. Let's start with the question. So this was the first. I'll be starting from the back only because front से हम बहुत बार कर चुके हैं सारे questions. So we'll start with the back, okay. So the question is, an organization needs to maintain database having 5 attributes A, B, C, D, E. These attributes are functionally dependent on each other, for which functionality dependency set F is given as A determines BC, D determines E, BC determines D, and A determines D. Consider a universal relation R, A, B, C, D, E with functional dependency set F. Also, all attributes are simple and take atomic values only. Minimal cover F dash of the functional dependency set F is. Try करो इसको. बहुत easy question है, and yes, this question is asked many times, so बहुत easy भी है और बहुत easy concept है. So try it everyone. With the given functional dependencies, you have to tell the minimal cover. Yes, टाइम खत्म होने जा रहा है, जल्दी जल्दी बताओ. आई हैव केप्ट टाइमर फॉर एवरी क्वेश्चन, ठीक है. सो दिस विल हेल्प यू टू मेंटेन योर स्पीड एज वेल. टेक इट एज अ टेस्ट एंड दिस विल हेल्प यू फॉर एवरी क्वेश्चन. यू आर हैविंग सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ सेकेंड्स, ठीक है. Okay, so one answer I have received. What about others? Try to do the questions within the timer only, everyone. Okay, so how do we do these type of questions is, we will first thing is what we will do, we will break the functional dependencies. Now always remember one thing, that if your functional dependency is of this type, ठीक है, A determines B, C, ठीक है. So I can write this as A determines B, A determines C, okay. This is what can be done. But if your functional dependency is of type AB determines C, you cannot write it like A determines C and B determines C, okay. This is not correct. So whenever you will be working for, when you will be trying for this minimal cover, we have to start with this. But for breaking the functional dependencies, we have to check कि वो functional dependencies are of which type. If they are of this type, we can break them. If they are of this type, we cannot break them. Why we cannot break them? Because it is saying that A can determine B and A is determining C, correct. But this statement is saying that A and B combined are determining C. मतलब if you try to see this, it is of this type. 4, this is deriving 3. For 4, this is deriving 3, right? So you can see that A alone is not able to determine C. But if I write 4, 5 and 4, 6, now A, B together is able to determine C. Yes? So इसीलिए you can break this type of dependency, but you cannot break this type of dependency. So if you see the question, so we have A determines BC. So I can write it as A determines B and A determines C. Then I have D determines E. Then I have B, C determines D, and then I have A determines D. Now how will I find the minimal cover? So for finding minimal cover, what we will do is we will take this functional dependency, okay, and we will remove this functional dependency from the given set. If we are able to find the closure of A, and in closure of A, if we are able to find B without using this functional dependency, this means that this functional dependency is useless. Getting my point? If we are able to find the B in closure of A without using this functional dependency, then we can say that A determines B is a useless functional dependency. So if I try to remove this, okay, so what I am doing? I am removing this. Okay, I have removed this and now try to find the closure of A. So what will be the closure of A? Quickly, A itself, then A to C, then A to D, then D to E. Right, so if I do not have A determines B with me, I will not be able to find B in the closure of A. This means that A determine B is a useful functional dependency. Now what we will do? Now we will remove this one dependency, that is A determines C, and now we will try to find the closure of A. So A determines B, A determines D, and A determines E. Again, I am not able to find A determines C, so this is also useful. Now we will try to find the closure of D by removing this functional dependency. So it will be closure of D will be only D. So what I should have get E as well. So I am not able to find E. So D determines E is also a useful functional dependency. Then what we will do? Next we will go for BC. So BC closure when I'll do and I'll try to find the closure of BC. So I'll get BC only, nothing else I'll get. And what is the functional dependency? BC derives D. So without this functional dependency, I cannot find D as well. Now what we will do? Now we will try to find this one. So we'll take closure of A again and we'll try to see whether we are getting D or not. So A determines B, A determines C, and BC determines D, and D determines E. So yes, without A determines D functional dependency, I can find D in the closure of A. So the correct answer to this question is option number 1. Because in option number 2, here they have written B determines D, but it should be BC determines D. Here they have written A determines D, so this will be wrong. And here they are writing, they have broken these two. So these two cannot be broken down. So the correct answer is option number 1. समझ में आ गया वाला क्वेश्चन? I hope now you have understood how we will find the minimal cover. क्वेश्चन कैसा भी आएगा, यही कंसेप्ट आपको, यही अप्रोच आपको यूज करनी है. Yes everyone? I hope this is clear to everyone how we find the minimal cover. All those who have given the correct answers, very good. All those who have not given any answers or those who have given wrong answers, I hope you have understood this concept of minimal cover. This is an important question. Minimal cover you can expect in your exam. Okay, next question. Same next question is, you have to find the primary key with the same functional dependencies. So functional dependencies same है, simple, you have to find the primary key of R. Very quickly do it, very easy. ये तो सबको आंसर देना पड़ेगा because this is very easy and we have discussed this type of questions so many times. So everybody has to give answer for this one and very quickly. So वैसे what we have done, what I have told you is, what we will do, we'll simply write these functional dependencies. A determines BC, D determines E, BC determines D, and A determines D. ठीक है? Now what we will do, we will look at the right hand side of these functional dependencies. I have B with me, Okay, I have C with me. Okay, I have D, I have E. I don't have A with me on the right hand side of any of the functional dependencies. Right hand side, okay, right hand side पे check करना है. So what I'll do, this means I don't have A. This means that no attribute is able to determine A. So A has to have in the your candidate key or primary key. So first I'll try to find the closure of A only. So A determines BC, BC determines D, and D determines E. So the correct answer is option number 3. Okay, good everyone. But very few students gave the answer. What about others? Why others are not answering? Everybody has to answer. Okay, everybody please be attentive in the class and do attend the session. Okay, do give the answers as well. Next question. Now you have to find the normal form in which the relation R belongs to. So you have to find the normal form for this relation R. So same, again you have these same functional dependencies. A determines BC, D determines E, BC determines D, and A determines D. So you have to tell the normal form for this relation R. What is the normal form? ओके सबके आंसर लगा रहे हैं. 1NF भी आंसर है, 2NF भी आंसर आ गया, 3NF भी आंसर आ गया. ओके बाकी सब व्हाट अबाउट अदर्स? What are your answers, everyone? Okay. So first let's quickly discuss that what are the properties, how we have to check. Okay. So first we'll check for BCNF. So what does BCNF says? BCNF says that if the functional dependencies of the type X determines Y, then X has to be what? X has to be a super key. Right, this is the only condition for BCNF. BCNF follows only one condition, that if X determines Y, then X has to be a super key. Then what is the condition for 3NF? 3NF says that if X determines Y, then there are two conditions. Either first condition is that either X is super key, okay, और मतलब either of the two should follow. या तो X आपका super key हो या Y is prime attribute, that is Y is a part of candidate key. So ये आपका 3NF की condition हो गई. Then what does 2NF says? 2NF says that if X determines Y, then there should be no partial dependency. Now partial dependency is of the type part of key. Part of key is deriving a non-key attribute. So this is the type of 2NF. So these are the three basic BCNF, 3NF, 2NF that we have to see कि in which category all the functional dependencies will fall into. ठीक है? So what we have, first we'll see what is the candidate key for this question. Candidate key is A. Yes, now let's see A determines BC. So this one will come into BCNF. Why? Because A is a super key. Now this one D determines E. This will not come into BCNF. Why it will not come into BCNF? Because D is not a super key. Correct. Then we'll check for 3NF. Now D is not a super key and E is not a prime attribute. इसलिए 3NF भी नहीं है. Let's check for 2NF. 2NF says part of key determines a non-key attribute. अब D is not a part of, it says that PD. अगर part of key is determining a non-key attribute, then we say that PD exists. अब यहाँ पे D is not a part of key. So इसीलिए ये आपका 2NF में है. Then BC determines D. BC determines D again is in 2NF. And then A determines D आपका BCNF हो गया. But out of all these four, since all the four are not in BCNF, and we know this thing कि अगर एक आपकी फंक्शनल डिपेंडेंसी BCNF है, सो वो 3NF भी होगी, वो 2NF भी होगी, एंड वो 1NF भी होगी, राइट. दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव स्टडीड कि BCNF, अगर इफ एनी फंक्शनल डिपेंडेंसी इज BCNF, इट विल बी 3NF ऑल्सो, 2NF ऑल्सो एंड 1NF ऑल्सो. ठीक है, सो इसीलिए द फाइनल आंसर इज 2NF. RT 2NF says that 2NF की प्रॉपर्टी ये है that partial dependency should not exist. This is what is 2NF. ठीक है, partial dependency should not exist. Now what is, how do we know कि whether we have a partial dependency or not? Partial dependency is basically कि part of key is determining a non-key attribute. अगर ये है, ये आपकी डेफिनेशन है फॉर पार्शियल डिपेंडेंसी. मतलब इफ आई एम ट्राइंग टू से दैट कैंडिडेट की इज AB, okay, and relation is having A, B, C and D, 4 attributes. So if I have this type of dependency, that is A determines D, so A is what? A is a part of candidate key, yes or no? My candidate key in all is A, B combined, ठीक है, but the functional dependency only have A in it, that is a part of key, and D is what? D is a non-key attribute, that is non-prime attribute. So this is your partial dependency, and because partial dependency is there, it will not be in 2NF. बात समझ में आ गई? ठीक है, 2NF basically says that partial dependency should not exist. What is partial dependency? Partial dependency is कि part of candidate key is determining a non-key attribute. So this is basically is your partial 2NF. ठीक है, so in this question, since 2 are satisfying 2NF and 2 functional dependencies are satisfying BCNF, so that is why the final answer will be 2NF. ठीक है, next question. Again, they are saying consider this relation. Okay, you have to identify the redundant functional dependency in F. Redundant functional dependency in F. So this is very easy. We have already seen in the previous question when we were finding minimal cover. In minimal cover, we have reduced that, we have removed that functional dependency that was useless for us. So A determines D was the functional dependency that was removed. So that is why, since it is removed, this means that it is useless or it is redundant. So the correct answer is option number 3. Very easy. Okay, next question. So what they are saying, now they have divided this R, ठीक है, जो आपका R relation था A, B, C, D, E attributes के संग, it has been decomposed into 2 tables. Table 1 with A, B, C attribute and functional dependencies, A determines B and A determines C. And table 2 with A, D, E, that is A determines D and A, D determines E. So now you have to tell which of the following is correct with respect to given decomposition. Try everyone. So with these 5 questions, you will basically understand the concept of normalization. right? How do we find the candidate key? How do we find minimal cover? How do we find the normal forms? So with these few questions, you will be able to revise the entire concept. So that is why practicing questions is very, very important once you have read all the concepts, once you have studied all the concepts. Because uske baad you just have to apply those concepts into the questions. And that is very important कि we should know कि how we have to apply the concepts. बिकॉज क्या होता है कि कंसेप्ट हमें आते हैं बट क्या होता है सिंस वी आर नॉट एबल टू अप्लाई देम वी आर नॉट एबल टू गेट द आंसर करेक्ट. यस, क्या आंसर आ रहा है इसका एवरीवन? So R1 is having the attributes A, B and C, and R2 is having the attributes A, D and E. Correct. Now R1 is broken, has dependencies A determines B and A determines C, and R2 is having A determines D and D determines E. Now first what we will do, first we will try to find the candidate key of R1. What is the candidate key of R1? So if we try to find the closure of A, we will get A, B and C. So what is the candidate key of R1? A. Correct. Then we'll try to find the candidate key of R2. What is the candidate key of R2? Again, A. Yes. Now we'll try to see from the given options. Dependency preservation property is followed. Let's check. A determines BC is okay. We can get from here A determines B, A determines C. So I can address A determines BC. Then I have D determines E. So correct, D determines E is also correct. A determines D is also correct. What about BC determines D? So if you see here, in no one table B, C, D attributes are taken all together. So this functional dependency for now is not preserved. Okay. Then let's check about the normal form. So R1 is in BCNF, no doubt. Yes or no? R1 is in BCNF, yes or no everyone? What about R2? Now if you check for R2, this one is in BCNF. Yes, if you check for R2, this one is in BCNF for no doubt. But if you check for this one is in 2NF. Why? This one is not in 3NF. Why it's not in 3NF? Because 3NF says that either this should be a prime attribute, that is D should be a prime attribute, or D should be super key, or E should be a prime attribute. जो दोनों ही केस नहीं हो रहे हैं. That is why this particular is not in 3NF. So इसीलिए R2 जो है it is in 2NF. So the correct answer is option number 4. Now many of you must be thinking कि ये तो BCNF है. So अगर ये BCNF है तो this means कि ये 3NF भी है, and this is 2NF also, and this is 1NF also. राइट. सो इसीलिए फर्स्ट वन जो है आपका वो BCNF हो जाएगा. दैट इज BCNF अगर है तो 3NF भी है, 2NF भी है, 1NF भी है. और जो सेकंड वन आपका टेबल है, सेकंड टेबल है, वो आपकी 2NF हो जाएगी. क्लियर एवरीवन? ये क्वेश्चन क्लियर हुआ सबको? इट्स अ वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन. You can expect these type of questions in your upcoming exam. ठीक है एवरीवन? ओके, सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सो ये आपके फर्स्ट 5 क्वेश्चंस थे फ्रॉम DBMS, फ्रॉम नॉर्मलाइजेशन कंसेप्ट ओनली. नेक्स्ट वी हैव क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग, साइक्लोमैटिक कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. सो नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज how many nodes are there in the flow graph F? So first you have to tell कि कितने nodes हैं. Quickly count करके बताओ कितने nodes हैं इस इमेज में. This was the first time these type of questions were introduced with one node having 2 nodes in it. So इसीलिए थोड़ा सा स्टूडेंट्स का गलत हुआ था ये क्वेश्चन. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ने गलत, पूरे ही 5 के 5 गलत हो गए थे. Why? Because with nodes you have to find few many things. So इसीलिए बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स के नंबर्स नहीं आए थे. So you have to just see and do it very carefully. Cyclomatic complexity is very easy, but see, the question of this type can create problem for us. Hello Sheetal, good afternoon. So how many nodes? 1. So this you have to remember that 2 and 3. Okay, if you have 2 and 3, it will be combined, calculate as 1 only. Okay, 1 node. Okay, so now we have 1, then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay, so how many nodes are there? 9 nodes are there. Okay, Sheetal, I will add data structure classes as well. I have shared the schedule. You can check for the schedule for now. ठीक है, up to I think 10th या 11th तक schedule मैंने share कर रखा है कि what we'll be doing. तो वो आप चेक कर लो. उसमें मैंने TCP, UDP and DBMS के questions लिखे हुए हैं. And for next week I'll add data structure as well. ठीक है. Okay, next question. How many regions are there in the flow graph? So now in the same flow graph you have to tell how many regions are there. Yes, बाकी सब everyone answer the question. So how many regions are there? If we have to calculate, this is the first region. Yes, then regions are basically what? Regions are bounded plus unbounded. ठीक है, remember this one. Regions is basically all the bounded regions plus 1. 1 is the unbounded region. Okay, so now we have how many regions? This is the first region. Then if you see this one, again close one, this is the second region. Then if you check this one, again a closed boundary, this one is your third one, right? And then the outer one, if you check this one, this is the open region, right? This is the open one, so this one is your fourth region. So how many regions in total? 4 regions are there in total. Clear everyone? नीतू क्लियर हो गया? So this is your region number 4, the outer region. Okay, next question is how many predicate nodes are there and what are their names? So what are predicate nodes? Predicate nodes are the decision nodes. ठीक है, जिनसे आप decision बनाते हो, usually of type with 2 outgoings. ठीक है, या 2 or more outgoings nodes are known as the predicate nodes or decision nodes. So you have to tell that how many decision nodes are there and what are their names. Any node having 2 or more outgoing edges. ठीक है, outgoing edges, 2 or more outgoing edges are your predicate or decision nodes. So if you check in the figure, 1 is having this outgoing node and this outgoing node. So yes, 1 is a predicate node. Then 2 comma 3, this is having again 2, what you can say, edges, outgoing edges. So this is also predicate node. Then we can have 6. 6 is also having 2 outgoing edges. So this is also a predicate node. So we have only these 2, these 3. So The correct answer is option number 1. That is, we have 3 predicate nodes, and the 3 predicate nodes are 1, 2, 3 and 6. Okay, Sunita, I hope this is clear now. Next question. Okay. Now, what is the cyclomatic complexity of the flow graph? So finally they have asked, what is the cyclomatic complexity of the flow graph? Cyclomatic complexity means so वंदना, आप प्रिपरेशन अभी स्टार्ट कर रहे हो या आप कर चुके हो पहले? तो बेसिकली साइक्लोमैटिक कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी से क्या होता है? साइक्लोमैटिक कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी हेल्प्स अस टू फाइंड द नंबर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट पार्ट्स गिवन इन द फ्लो ग्राफ. ठीक है, इन अ फ्लो ग्राफ हाउ मेनी इंडिपेंडेंट पार्ट्स एग्जिस्ट, दैट इज डिटरमाइंड बाय दिस साइक्लोमैटिक कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. ठीक है, बेसिक डेफिनेशन अगर आप देखो तो दिस इज द बेसिक डेफिनेशन ऑफ cyclomatic complexity, that is, it helps us to find the number of independent parts in the given flow graph. ठीक, now we have basically 3 formulae for calculating cyclomatic complexity. I'll tell you all the formulae very quickly. First one is E minus n plus 2. Yes, E minus n plus 2, where E is number of edges, n is number of vertices, and 2 is your a constant term. ठीक है. Second is cyclomatic complexity is equal to number of regions. जितने आपके regions हैं आपके flow graph में, उतने आपकी cyclomatic complexity है. And third way to calculate is cyclomatic complexity is equal to number of predicate nodes or decision nodes plus 1. ठीक है, so we'll try to find this. So what is the value of E? How many edges are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 edges are there. So 11 minus 9 plus 2. So 11 plus 2 will give you 13. 13 minus 9 will give you 4. Then how many regions were there? We have just now calculated 4 regions in the previous question. Yes, 4 regions are there. And then we have calculated number of decision nodes, that is 3. So how many decision nodes are there? Predicate nodes 3. So 3 plus 1, that is 4. So the cyclomatic complexity of the given flow graph is 4. That is option number C. Clear everyone? अब आई डोंट नो कि 3 आप लोग आंसर बोल रहे थे या 3 ऑप्शन बोल रहे थे, क्योंकि अगर आप 3 आंसर बोल रहे हो देन यू ऑल आर रॉन्ग, और अगर 3 ऑप्शन बोल रहे हो तो ऑप्शन ABCD में है तो ABCD करके आंसर करो, अदरवाइज इट विल बी टेकन एज कि योर आंसर इज 3. क्लियर एवरीवन? आई होप एवरीबॉडी हैज अंडरस्टूड दिस कंसेप्ट. ठीक है. So these are the formulae for finding the cyclomatic complexity. You can use any of the formula and with that you can find the cyclomatic complexity of the given flow graph. Next question from the same is, how many nodes are there in the longest independent path? Now, right now we have just found that there are 4 independent paths. Yes, cyclomatic complexity tells us that how many independent paths are there. Now the question is, how many nodes are there in the longest independent path? So you have to find a path with that longest path will have how many nodes. So you have to find the path that is the longest one, and then you have to tell that how many nodes are there in that particular longest path. So what will be the longest path? If you see, it will be, we'll start from 1. See, they have clearly said that the entry node is 1 and the exit node is 11. So you have to enter from 1 only and you can exit from 11 only. Okay, so we'll start with 1. Then from 1 we will go to 2 comma 3. Then from 2 comma 3 we'll go to either 6 or 4 comma 5. Let's say we are going to 6. Then we'll go to either 7 or 8. Let's say we are going to 7. Then we will go to 9. Then from 9 we'll go to 10. Now from 10 we have to go to 1 again. And then from 1 we will go directly to 11. So this is the longest independent path. So how many nodes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 nodes in this. The correct answer is option number C. Clear? So these were your 5 questions from DBMS and 5 questions from software engineering. So questions were very easy, but only with because of this node, that is 2 comma 3, the entire question changed of many students. Okay. Next question. Which of the following algorithm is not used for line clipping? Which of the following is not used for line clipping? Now, many of you must not be knowing about Liang-Baske algorithm or Nicol-Lee-Nicol algorithm. No worries. But Cohen-Sutherland and Sutherland-Hodgman algorithms you know. Definitely. So, उन्हीं की help से आप ये question आराम से कर लोगे. So, they are asking which of the following is not used for line clipping. This question is from your computer graphics from the clipping part. See, we have studied 2 algorithms, Cohen-Sutherland and Sutherland-Hodgman. Okay, we have not studied Liang-Baske and we have not studied Nicol-Lee-Nicol algorithm, and let's say we don't know about them. Okay, we know that this is for line clipping and we know that this is for polygon clipping. अब हमें we might know about this, we might not know about this, but they are asking not used for line clipping. With these 2 only I have my answer, that the correct answer is option number 2, that is Sutherland-Hodgman algorithm. वैसे Liang-Baske algorithm, Nicol-Lee-Nicol, they are also line clipping algorithms. ठीक है, so the correct answer is option number 2. Sutherland-Hodgman is a polygon clipping algorithm, not your line clipping. Clear? So see, they will give you questions like this also. अब इस question में you must have seen कि अरे Liang-Baske आ गया, Nicol तो मुझे पता ही नहीं है. So you might escape these questions. Few students might do this. But अगर आप ध्यान से देखो, so the question lies in first 2 options only. They are clearly asking not used for line clipping. और हमें पता है कि Sutherland-Hodgman का हमने पढ़ी है because this is in our course. So we know that Sutherland-Hodgman is the polygon clipping algorithm. So we'll quickly mark the answer as option number 2. Clear? Next question is, how many reflexive relations are there on a set with 4 elements? You have a set, that set has 4 elements. You have to answer how many reflexive relations are there. What about others? Baki? I hope you all know that what are reflexive relations. Yes? I have discussed these formulas also. ये formulae one of the previous videos I have discussed the formulae for all these type of relations. So I'll request everyone to check for those videos. ठीक है? Graph theory में under the topic of set and relation I have discussed this topic on YouTube only. ठीक है? See, what are reflexive relations? Reflexive relations are of the type that is one element is related to itself. This is what is your reflexive relation, right? If I am having 1 comma 1 or 2 comma 2, so this is your reflexive relation. Okay, now my n, let's say n is equal to 4, that is a set with having 4 elements. So number of reflexive relation, the formula for reflexive relation is 2 raised to power n square minus 2. Okay, this is the formula, 2 raised to power n square minus 2. So this will be 2 raised to power 4 square minus 2. So that will give you 2 raised to power 16 minus 2, that is 2 raised to power 14. So the correct answer is, sorry, not 14, it is n square minus n, sorry, n it is. 2 raised to power n square minus n, sorry. So this will be n square minus 4. So this will be 2 raised to power 12. So correct answer is option number B. Yeah, 2 raised to power n minus 1 also you can write. So 2 raised to power n minus 1 भी आप लिख सकते हो इसको. It is similar to 2 raised to power n square minus n. Okay, so the correct answer is option number B, that is 2 raised to power 12. ठीक है, सो ये फॉर्मूला है एंड एवरीबडी हैज टू रिमेंबर दिस फॉर्मूला बिकॉज दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड दिस इज अ वेरी डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन, सो इट कैन कम इन एग्जाम एंड इट विल सेव योर टाइम अगर आपको फॉर्मूला पता होगा. ठीक है, that is why I'm saying practice questions. Practicing questions is very very important because you get to know certain new concepts every time you practice a question. Okay, next question. A fuzzy conjunction operator Tx comma y and a fuzzy disjunction operator Sx comma y form a pair if they satisfy Tx comma y is equal to 1 minus s, 1 minus x comma 1 minus y. So they have given the value of Tx comma y as xy divided by x plus y minus xy. Then you have to find the value of s of x comma y. ट्राई करो इसको, फजी का क्वेश्चन, चलो ट्राई करो, फजी का क्वेश्चन है ये. ठीक है, आई थिंक आंसर इज नॉट करेक्टली मार्क. चलो आप ट्राई करो इसको, फजी लॉजिक से क्वेश्चन आया है ये एंड आई हैव टेकन वीडियो ऑन फजी ऑल्सो. तो यूट्यूब पे ही फजी पे भी क्वेश्चन है. ठीक है, फजी इसमें भी क्वेश्चन वीडियो है पूरी फजी कंसेप्ट पे. सो इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट फॉर दैट आप उसको चेक कर सकते हो. ठीक है, yes everyone, what is the answer for this question? इतना टाइम. See, in fuzzy we have operators. ठीक है, we have conjunction operator, that's and we have disjunction operator as or. Conjunction operator को we write it as tx comma y and disjunction written as sx comma y. So now they form a dual pair. How they form a dual pair is if they are related to each other in this form. ठीक है, this is what you have to remember. According to principle of duality between fuzzy conjunction operator and fuzzy disjunction operator, form a dual pair if they satisfy the following condition. What is the condition? 1 minus t of x comma y is equal to s of 1 minus x comma 1 minus y, and 1 minus s of x comma y is equal to t 1 minus x comma 1 minus y. So what we will do is we will take this equation and we will try to find the value of s x comma y. Why? Because we have to tell the value of s x comma y in the final answer. This will be 1 minus t 1 minus x comma 1 minus y. So now what we will do? Now we will substitute. What was tx comma y? Tx comma y was xy whole upon x plus y minus xy. Now we'll substitute the value 1 minus x and 1 minus y. Buffering. Okay, let me check. Just refresh once. Okay. Maybe because of certain reasons buffering हो रही हो. Just for once refresh everyone. So I hope now it's correct. Now it's fine. So now what we will do? Now we'll substitute the values over here. So it will be 1 minus x multiply 1 minus y whole upon 1 minus x plus 1 minus y minus 1 minus x 1 minus y. ठीक है. So when you will solve this entire equation, I'll not solve it, you will solve it yourself. ठीक है, आप try करो उसे solve करने का. When you will solve it, you will get x plus y plus 2, no, it will be minus x plus y minus 2xy whole upon 1 minus xy. Solve कर लोगे या मैं करूँ? Yes everyone, solve कर लोगे सही या मैं करके बताऊं? Will you be able to solve it or you want me to solve? Simple brackets open करने इसके बाद nothing else you have to do. कर लोगे? Right? So ये आपका सुनीता एक बार रिफ्रेश करो. Now there is no problem. Okay, now the buffering issue is resolved. Okay, so correct answer is option number 2, x plus y minus 2xy whole upon 1 minus xy. Okay, now next question is, given the following equation, 142 base b plus 112 base b minus 2 equal to 75 base 8, you have to find the value of b. नंबर सिस्टम का क्वेश्चन है, वेरी इजी. यस, क्या आंसर आ रहा है इसका? इतना टाइम? So what we will do, we'll first convert all this into decimal. So how do we do it? We open it and we multiply it with the power. So 1 multiplied by b square plus 4 multiplied by b plus 2 plus b minus 2 whole square multiplied by 1 plus 1 multiplied b minus 2 plus 2 equal to 7 multiplied by 8 plus 5. Then we have b square plus 4b plus 2. So we'll open this bracket, will be b square plus 4 minus 4b plus b minus 2 plus 2 equal to 56 plus 5. So this 4b and 4b will cancel out. This 2 and 2 will cancel out. So it will be 2b square plus b plus 4, 5, 6. 6 minus 61 will come over here, right? So 2b square plus b plus, sorry, minus 55. Yes or no? Equal to 0. Then what you will do, now you have to, it will be 55 multiplied 2. You have to solve this equation, it will be 2b square plus, minus 10b plus 11b minus 55. You have to find the roots of this equation, right? So when you will solve it, you will find 10 and 11 as the roots. So it will be, when you will take common, it will be 2b will come out common, b minus 5 plus 11 will be b again minus 5. So when you will solve it, you will get one value of b will be minus 11 by 2 and another value of b will be 5. So your base, ठीक है, base can never be negative or in decimals, so this value will get rejected. So the correct value will be b equal to 5. The correct answer is option number D. So anybody was having problem in this question? Because this is the basic number system, so I have to understand whether you are having any problem in these type of questions or these questions are okay for you. Anybody was having any problem in this type of question? No one? Okay. Chalo. Next question. So, a basic feasible solution of an M cross N transportation problem is said to be non-degenerate if basic feasible solution contains exactly dash number of individual allocation in dash position. It's not time consuming, हर्षियाना. जब आपको प्रैक्टिस हो जाएगी, so it will be very easy. बस थोड़ी प्रैक्टिस हो जाएगी, यू विल बी एबल टू डू इट फास्टर. बट अभी क्या है कि थोड़ा सा हो सकता है प्रैक्टिस नहीं है, दैट्स व्हाई टाइम लग रहा होगा. Again, this topic, it is from your optimization. Yes, in optimization we have this concept of transportation problem, and this full topic I have explained on YouTube under the same name of transportation. So please everyone, ऑप्शन से भी उतना ही टाइम लगेगा क्योंकि ऑप्शन हो सकते हैं कि बड़े वैल्यूज के, तो आपको उतना टाइम लग जाएगा. सो एवरीवन, all those who have not seen this video or who have not studied transportation or assignment problem, I'll request you all कि YouTube पे ही on the same channel जिस पे हम अभी पढ़ रहे हैं, I have discussed transportation problem, I have discussed assignment problem along with the theory. So please go and check those videos under the topic optimization. You will find those videos, थोड़ा नीचे मिलेंगी आपको videos, but I have discussed the entire discrete over there. ठीक है. सो ऑप्टिमाइजेशन में एलपीपी, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन और आपका असाइनमेंट प्रॉब्लम सारी ही वी हैव डिस्कस्ड. ओके एवरीवन, सो प्लीज गो एंड विजिट दैट पर्टिकुलर वीडियो. व्हाट अबाउट दिस वन? कि एग्जैक्ट एक थ्योरी लाइन है जो बुक से इन्होंने कॉपी करी है एज अ क्वेश्चन, एंड दे हैव मिस्ड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट 2 पार्ट्स एंड दे आर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि आपको पता है वो चीज. So a basic feasible solution of an M cross N transportation problem is said to be non-degenerate if basic feasible solution contains exactly dash number of individual allocation in dash position. बताओ क्या आंसर होगा इसका. इसका करेक्ट आंसर है ऑप्शन नंबर बी. सो बेसिकली देयर शुड बी m plus n minus 1 allocations and they should be independent at the independent positions. ठीक है, not appropriate independent positions. So exactly m plus n minus 1 allocation should be there and they should be independent at independent positions. Okay, तभी we say that it is non-degenerate solution. Next one, the value of the root node of the game tree is. So this is from your AI alpha beta pruning वो max min max tree. ठीक है, so ये आपका min max tree है. Now they're asking you the value at the root और यहाँ पे they have clearly mentioned that कि ये आपका जो level है इस पे जो आपकी वैल्यूज है वो है 17, 19. ठीक है, दिस लेवल इज taking all the minimum values, so you have to compare, you have to take the minimum value, this value is taking the maximum one, this value again taking minimum and this root is taking the maximum value. So I'll zoom in for you and then you can try to solve this question. थोड़ा सा zoom in कम करना पड़ेगा but थोड़ा सा zoom in में तो कम होगा नहीं. I think this is visible to everyone, right? This is 17, 19, 16, 111, 112, 15 and 14. ठीक है, so you have to tell the value of the root node and at each level they have told you, they have specified whether you have to take the minimum values or you have to take the maximum values. Simple min max है. See, in 2019 they asked min max, in 2021 they asked alpha beta pruning. So बेसिक से स्टार्ट किया उन्होंने एंड देन 2021 में दे वेंट टू दी अपर लेवल. सो ऐसे करके दे आर डूइंग. ठीक है, सो मिन मैक्स इज इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट एज कंपेयर टू अदर टॉपिक्स फ्रॉम योर एआई. So how you will do this? First we'll compare the two, right? So we'll compare 17 and 19 and we have to take what? We have to take the minimum value. So 17 will come over here. Correct. Then we have 16. Now here we have a null value. ठीक है. Now out of the two, that is 16 and n, we have to take the minimum value. Now null can be anything. We don't know the value of null. Null can be greater than 16. Null can be less than 16. So whenever we are making any comparison with null, whether it is a greater null or less than, we have to take the original number. So when we compare 16 and null, we will take 16 only. Now similarly, now we have 111, 112. So minimum will be 111. Now here we are comparing two nulls. So it will be null itself. Then here we have 15 and then again null. So it will be 15. Then here will be 14. Here we will be having null and null. Now next we have to take the maximum value. So 17 and 16 से maximum हो गई 17. Then 111 and n. So the maximum will be 111. 15, 14 maximum is 15 and null will give you null. Now at next level we have to take the minimum value 17 and 111. So the minimum value is 17. From 15 and null the minimum value is 15 and now at the root level we have to take maximum. So 17 and 15 को compare करोगे तो maximum आएगा 17. So the correct answer is option number B. So you have to remember this कि whenever you are comparing anything with null, so we don't know the exact value of null. Null can be less than 16. अगर हम 16 की बात करें, it can be greater than 16. So इसीलिए we will always take the value 16, not null. ठीक है, क्लियर हो गया वाला पॉइंट एवरीवन? I hope you have understood this concept of null. Next question. So this is your question from JVM. Java virtual machine is used to execute architectural neutral byte code. Which of the following is needed by JVM for execution of Java code? So they're asking you कि when we are talking about JVM, so JVM requires which 2 or 3 things for the execution of Java code? Try करो इसको भी. Class loader only, class loader and Java interpreter, class loader, Java interpreter and API, or Java interpreter only. So for executing the byte code, JVM will require what things as for the execution of the Java code? Simple सा question है. So it's very easy. The correct answer for this question is option number 2. ठीक है, class loader and Java interpreter. Now I'll tell you what is it basically. So this is the theory associated to it. JVM, Java virtual machine, acts as a runtime engine to run Java applications. ठीक है, it's a basic engine, runtime engine that is used for running Java applications. JVM is the one that actually calls the main method present in Java code. JVM is a part of JRE, Java Runtime Environment. JVM has 2 primary functions: to allow Java programs to run on any device or operating system, known as write once run anywhere principle, and to manage and optimize the program memory. So basically JVM is used for executing, or it is a runtime engine that is used for for running the Java applications. ठीक है, everything in Java is a class. Obviously whenever we are writing any program in Java, we always know that we are dealing with classes. ठीक है, and all Java applications are built from classes. In order to run a Java application, JVM must load, compile .class files. So for .class files, class loader is the part that is very important. So the Java class loader is the part of JVM that loads classes into memory and makes them available for execution. So obviously we have classes in Java. ठीक है, so how we'll be loading that classes into memory and how we'll be executing? For that we have this class loader. तो एक चीज जो बहुत जरूरी हो गई वो हो गई आपकी class loader. Then for each hardware architecture, a different bytecode interpreter is used. ठीक है, so हर architecture के लिए we have a different bytecode interpreter. So when a computer has a Java bytecode interpreter, it can run any Java bytecode program, and the same program can be run on any computer that has such an interpreter. So basically for your JVM, ठीक है, फॉर JVM बेसिकली जावा का क्या कंसेप्ट होता है, अगर आपको ध्यान है, जावा का कंसेप्ट होता है कि यू कैन राइट इट ऑन वन एंड यू कैन रन इट ऑन एनी, ये होता है कंसेप्ट. सो उसके लिए 2 चीजें सबसे जरूरी है, वो है क्लास लोडर और जावा इंटरप्रेटर. नॉट API और नॉट क्लास लोडर ओनली और जावा इंटरप्रेटर ओनली. यू हैव टू हैव क्लास लोडर ऑल्सो एंड जावा इंटरप्रेटर ऑल्सो, एंड दिस इज द थ्योरी दैट विल एक्सप्लेन टू यू कि व्हाई इट इज एज सच. ठीक है, क्योंकि जावा में सब कुछ क्लासेस में होता है, इसलिए क्लास लोडर. और जावा इंटरप्रेटर जो है इट विल हेल्प कि हम अगर एक सिस्टम पे लिख रहे हैं तो हम दूसरे सिस्टम पे उस बाइट कोड को रन कर सकें. सो फॉर दैट वी रिक्वायर इंटरप्रेटर. ओके, सो दैट्स इट फॉर टुडेज क्लास. ठीक है, अब जो नेक्स्ट क्लास होगी दैट विल बी इन इवनिंग, वेयर वील बी डिस्कसिंग हायर एजुकेशन के क्वेश्चंस. सो आई विल रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन कि प्लीज टाइम से क्लास ज्वाइन कर लेना. जो टाइम है वो आपको आई विल टेल यू ऑन टेलीग्राम ग्रुप. ठीक है, ये टेलीग्राम ग्रुप है, इसी को ज्वाइन कर लो. क्लास का लिंक और क्लास का टाइम यहीं पे मैं आपको शेयर कर दूंगी. ओके, सो हायर एजुकेशन के क्वेश्चंस हैं एज यू ऑल हैव रिक्वेस्टेड कि हायर एजुकेशन और पीपल डेवलपमेंट एनवायरनमेंट के क्वेश्चंस करवा दो. सो दैट इज व्हाई आई हैव एडेड दिस. सो आई एक्सपेक्ट कि आप लोग क्लास अटेंड करोगे. ठीक है, सो दैट्स इट फॉर टुडे, फॉर दिस सेशन. बेसिकली इवनिंग में हम हायर एजुकेशन क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करेंगे. प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे, अलग क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे. आई विल सी टू इट कि किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस मुझे रखने हैं. सो बेसिकली टाइमर होगा उनमें, और जिन भी क्वेश्चंस में कुछ भी थ्योरी नीडेड होगी, सो दैट विल बी एडेड टू दैट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, सो आई होप एवरीथिंग इज क्लियर एंड देयर इज नो डाउट टू एनीवन. Okay, so that's it for now for this class. See you all in the evening. Please join class on time. Okay, chalo, thank you everyone, take care, bye bye. See you all in the evening and please join the class on time. Okay, अगर क्लास का टाइम 6 PM है तो क्लास .6 पे स्टार्ट हो जाती है, इसलिए प्लीज ट्राई टू बी ऑन टाइम. ओके, थैंक यू एवरीवन.